So did you see Love and Monsters yet? Now, this movie came out last October. It's kind of a weird deal how it came out. It was on certain platforms. It came out on Netflix like the entire world, except for the United States here this past week. I thought it was going to be on Netflix too. I'm sitting here pulling up Netflix on that day going, where the hell is it? No, thanks to Netflix and stupid lawyers and contracts and all this other garbage, we can't get it here on Netflix. So I had to go find it somewhere else. And I did, and I'm glad I did, because quite honestly, Love and Monsters is just a fun movie. It's a fun sci-fi movie, and it's a family sci-fi movie, and you don't get too much of that stuff anymore. Now, I'm running down the plot here right quick. What you've got is you have Joel, played by Dylan O'Brien. Well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. This movie starts off with a little, intro monologue thing that's actually really well done with little drawings and stuff, and kind of gives you the story so far about how there's this asteroid getting come hit Earth. We send a bunch of rockets up. There was much rejoicing. Yay. Oh shit, it rains down rocket fuel and other kinds of dangerous chemicals all over the planet. Every single cold-blooded creature on the face of the Earth gets mutated into something weird and big and nasty. Some of them mean, some of them not so much. We'll get to that in a little bit. But 95% of the world's population gets eaten or otherwise destroyed by these new nasties. And so there's 5% of the population living basically in holes in the ground, which is where we find our main character, Joel, played by Dylan O'Brien, in his little colony. We find out that Joel's kind of a loner, not so much by choice, really. He's kind of the camp cook, the type, right? Kind of hangs out, keeps to himself. Comes to find out that his girlfriend from before this has been like 7 years, so I don't know why we just now find, and she's only living in another camp like 85 miles away. Well, if we return to a pre-communication type of, society, yeah, okay, 85 miles may as well be 8,500 miles because you can't communicate, you can't see him, it doesn't really matter, right? So, but finding out that, that's only 85 miles, well, I'm going to go see my girlfriend. Now, his girlfriend is, Amy, played by Jessica Henwick. You might remember from, I think she was Colleen Iron Fist. Doesn't do a spectacular job here. She kind of just looks the same part in every single scene. Yeah, okay. It's not Citizen Kane here, guys. It's still a fun movie. But that part, this whole thing with him going to reunite with his girlfriend is kind of just the vehicle to get him pushed out the door. Now, I'm going to bring up the hero's journey. Remember your Joseph Campbell, Star Wars, hero's journey. This is basically what's going on here with Joel. He's getting booted out, into the wilderness, having to go on walkabout, basically, to meet his girlfriend. And he has to do the whole, journey of self-discovery, overcome the obstacles, all this other stuff. And we do this, and we do it really in a good way. So he comes across first, I think it's first, I may be getting this stuff out of order. If I do, let me know in the comments and chew me out because, sorry, I slept since I've watched this and then record this video. I don't do a whole lot of prep for these. I just kind of sit down and go, if you hadn't noticed. But anyway, he gets pushed out the door. He runs across a dog. Now, it's obvious that this dog had an owner at some point, but the owner's gone. Now, this dog, and thank you, whoever produced this movie, for using a real, live, flesh and blood dog. I can't even describe what a relief that was to see a real dog and not some crappy CG dog that looked completely fake and acted completely fake. This dog, real dog, this dog is pretty cool. I think he names it Boy. Real original, right? But it was obvious that, this was somebody's dog, and this dog is now alone too, so guess what? Boy and his boy, boy and his dog, boy and his boy, take off. Continue the, epic hero's journey. He has a new companion now. He runs across a couple more. He runs across Clyde and Minnow. Now, these two are kind of your Obi-Wan types, your mentor, kind of a combined. You got Clyde being the, wise older guy, and then you got the little kid in Minnow who kind of, it just works. Trust me, these are good characters. Introduce, some elements. Gives Joel a hand grenade, right? Oh, here you might need this. He's given the little light of Elendrio or whatever it is, right? Like I said, this if you know what you're watching, this stuff makes sense, guys. This is why I'm saying this is a good movie, because it hits these marks. Gives it a hand grenade. He goes off. He has to slay the beast. He runs into another one of these sand whatevers. I can't remember the exact term, but it's one of the baddies of the wastelands. He uses that hand grenade, blows it up. Oh, now Joel's a man, right? Yeah, it's a little simplified, but that's what we're dealing with, and that's what works. He gets to Amy's camp, right? Oh, guess what? Amy's been like married and widowed already. Oh, sorry, Joel, you're shit out of luck. That's life, right? Problem is Amy's camp has been visited by this Australian boat captain and his crew who wants to rescue them, right? Except, well, he doesn't actually want to rescue them. He wants to feed them to his giant crab that he uses to pull the boat around. Mayhem ensues. Oh, we remember a lesson that Clyde and Minnow taught us earlier. Kindness sometimes is better than not. So, yeah, problem solved. I'm not going to spoil it. Everybody goes home, well, except for the Australian and the boat guys. I'm sorry, Yeah, I spoiled that. Yeah, and Joel, being the new man that he is, realizes that, oh, I set out on this journey. What I had was actually back home in a little Wizard of Oz type of moment. Yeah, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. He actually goes back to his home camp. Oh, everything's great. The end, right? And then there's a little scene at the end, too, with Clyde and Minnow leaving this wide open for another sequel, which I think they should do. Now, like I said, this movie's a lot of fun. Just because it never takes itself too seriously, despite being fitting, I'm trying to find the right word here, fitting the mold of the whole hero's journey thing like it does. It left it open to maybe take itself a little too seriously, and it doesn't, and I think that's awesome. I mean, this movie's always got an undertone of humor, the cartoony alien green goo splattered everywhere. It's never seriously violent, let's put it that way. It's violent, but it's not like, literal blood and guts and people's, there's a difference in this. Goes on, and we'll get, this isn't, yeah, there's another thing here. This reminds me kind of Men in Black because of the way that the monsters are treated. If you watch the monsters, the design of these monsters is fairly, it's not comic, but it's not, super serious. They're not super scary monsters. They have a personality. Now you see this with the big, I forget what they call it, some kind of big boulder snail or something, right? In any case, the monsters are they're designed really well. I love the design of these monsters. Now, and talking about Men in Black, now the score to this movie, I can't remember the guy's name, except for one of the guys' names was Trump. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. I really am. The score for this movie is also pretty spectacular. It reminds me a lot of Elfman's score for Men in Black, where it's very, it's suspenseful in the right places, it's harrowing, and it follows the action of the movie very well. It has a very distinct personality. It's not just some generic, shitty, movie soundtrack. It's very unique. It's very, I don't want to say stylized, but it's very unique, and it's fits each scene that you notice it in. It fits, and I'm repeating myself here. It reminds me a lot of Men in Black in the way that the themes keep coming back in, and you hear this soundtrack, and you're like, that's cool. I like that. Now, at the risk of sounding like a real fanboy for this movie, I'm giving Love and Monsters a full 4.0 out of 5. Now, I know you're thinking, what? You've shit on a lot better movies than this. Yeah, maybe I have, but to me, this movie it's a lot of fun. I would not hesitate to watch this with kids, even younger kids. Yeah, there's a lot of profanity tossed around. It's 2021, guys. Your kids have probably heard it all at school already anyway. Just get over it and move on. I remember watching movies as a kid and somebody said shit and we all went, oh my God, Yeah, it doesn't matter now. It really doesn't. I don't even know. They're not dropping a ton of F-bombs around, and they're not being lewd and vulgar and sexually graphic or anything like that. It's really not. And just the way that this movie encompasses the whole hero's journey thing in this family-friendly package with the score, with everything. It's like a perfect little package. Now, I hope that there's going to be a sequel for this. Who knows, in this day and age with COVID and everything, a movie that should have done well might not do so well, and they might not do a sequel for it. I don't know. Here's hoping. Love and Monsters, you should go check it out because I think it's a lot of fun. 4.0 out of 5. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit subscribe, hit the like, hit the little bell. That way you see when I post new videos. It tells YouTube that, hey, I'm still here, I'm still making stuff. People are watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.